Today's video is powered by Cookies. Thank you for supporting my daughter's role in the largest girl-led entrepreneurial program in the world. Every box of Girl Scout cookies you order will get her one step closer to realizing her cookies goals, discovering new experiences, and making her cookie season a success. Thank you for supporting Girl Scouts. You can start your order right now. The link is in the description. Thank you. Now let's get on to the video. What up? What up? Thank you guys for joining in today. I am BK back with another banger. Today, we over here at AkaiPro.com. The highly anticipated MPC One is on the way. We all know this is the next step in Akai's workhorse of a system over there. But today we're not talking about the MPC One just yet. We're talking about the new MPC 2.7 software update that seems to have fixed all the bugs that we was having on the Mac OS. The bugs seems to be fixed. I briefly updated my firmware and my MPC software. I said briefly, but I updated it last night, like in the wee hours of the night. Someone was going back and forth with me about their MPC Touch not working once they had updated to the 2.7, and he was going back and forth saying it was a bummer, this, that, and the third. And then he hit me back and was like, Akai has fixed it. And I was like, did you get an email? I didn't get an email. What's up? But basically, when you open up your software, let's get on over into the software. When you open up your software for the first time, it actually alerts you and lets you know that the MPC 2.7.2 is available. But every time I opened it, I was seeing a pop-up, but I was ignoring it because it was 2.7. I wasn't paying attention to the under text that it was saying that the bug issues have been fixed for Mac OS. So I then installed, and now this is 2.7, and controller mode seems to be solid. So I'm definitely happy about that. There isn't too much in the release notes. I screenshot the release notes. I just gotta find them. Hold on. So I screenshot the release notes. It wasn't that much stuff in here about anything really. It just said the compatibility for MPC One, X, and Live, Studio Black, Studio Element, and are now fully compatible with the MPC desktop software on Mac OS Catalina. So, but that they updated it for Catalina, but I'm on High Sierra still, and it works for High Sierra. Catalina wasn't really the issue. The issue was for older Mac owners. Like if you're on a MacBook Pro or any of the older models from 2011 to 2015-ish, 2016 even, people were having issues with it. So they addressed that in one sweep. The desktop software 2.72 includes MIDI maps for popular Ableton, Arturia, Korg, M Audio, and Native Instruments controllers. All right, downloading the update. To download the update for the software, whenever you open up the MPC software, it's there for you, or you can go to you can sign in to your Akai Pro site and you could obtain it that way. Also, you'll need to do that for the firmware, because the firmware, you have to sign in for the firmware basically to download, yada 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 yada. So one thing I want to address in this video as well is that it says MPC One now supports network MIDI. So the network MIDI came in afterwards in that 2.7 update. So if you're in 2.6, you can't use the network MIDI. I want to address that here. Audio tracks, I don't really use audio tracks too tough, so I'm not really big on that. New features support for MPC One. MPC One now supports network MIDI. All right, so we got that. One issue that I want to address live, and I hope it does it, but you guys have been noticing it in the videos that I've been doing recently. Like, it's a heavy lag, and I thought it was because of the screen capturing software, but it isn't the screen capturing software. That has something to do with it as well, but it's not really all it. Like, in this program right here, I don't have that many VSTs open. These are one shots, and it's in key groups. But what I'm noticing is that there's a heavy lag. So I'm gonna put my cursor over here so you guys can see. I'm gonna enlarge that. It just hit 99. Now, if I turn off the plugins, see, it's jumping, but it's not jumping up to 99 as it did. But that's all that's here. So I'm not positive why it's tripping out so much. I'm gonna press play. You hear that buffering? So it's spiking for no reason, really. There's not much going on here. It's been happening since 2.6, and I'm going to update. I'm going to provide some feedback directly to Akai right now. That's how you provide feedback. You click that smiley face on the bottom, and it takes you here. Please address the CPU bytes MPC 2.6 and the new 2.7.2 software. And once you put in your email, you continue, and it says thanks again for providing your feedback, and that's all it says. And this is a little bit frustrating because you can do that. I've done this 10, 20, 30 times 10 of that over. And, you know, some things pop up in the software and some things just remain the same. So again, to do that, you go to the smiley face down here and you provide feedback. And that's the only way we're going to get Akai to do the things that we need Akai to do for us as a user base, right? So that's that. Connectivity is definitely back in order, at least for the minimum. I can be in controller mode and get to work. You know what I'm saying? I love standalone mode, but when I'm in front of the computer, I'm, you know, sampling, I'm doing sound designing. You can sound design from the MPC Live, but the sounds, where you getting the sounds from? So that's that for the MPC 2.7 software. They mentioned something about the MIDI control. There's nothing here that stands out directly for me. One thing, since I got you guys here, and if anyone from Akai is paying attention, pay attention. The pad perform mode, okay? This needs to be accessible in the software without an MPC connection. The pad perform mode should be accessible with any MIDI controllers, even the MPK Mini that's built by Akai and designed by Akai.
if you have an MPK Mini, you should be able to, or any of the MPK series, you should be able to access, the pad perform mode with that. You shouldn't need an MPC to use pad perform mode for the software. So yeah, that's my little tidbit for that. The next test that I'm gonna run real quick is the network MIDI. What I'm noticing is that it's not, I'm gonna pay attention to it. It didn't crash just now. What was happening a lot was the MPC has been crashing when you close your session. If your MPC is crashing, if it looks like your MPC is crashing the software, it may not be the MPC. It just may be the plugins. So the next thing I want to go over is the network MIDI. What the network MIDI is basically a cordless MIDI DIN, right? Again, so the network MIDI is basically a way for you to be not connected to the computer via USB. I'm plugging out my USB, right? Or I didn't disconnect my hard drive, but I'm disconnecting my USB right now. I'm gonna go into standalone mode, and then I'm going to open up Studio One, and hopefully it works how I want it to work. But it has to be on the same Wi-Fi. We off into Studio One, and I have to say I'm pretty happy. So I'm doing the Goof Troop thing. I don't feel like setting up my my tripod and all that stuff. So please forgive the setup, but I'll work on this in the future. So I have my trusty PreSonus Studio 2.4 USB. It's a little heavy, but it gets the job done. It's a 2 input, so it's left and right, and I'm coming out of the master outputs on my MPC Live. Your MPC needs to be on sync to MTC. I don't know if any of the other settings work, but that's the settings that I'm using. You need to set your devices up. So you'll add a new device. It'll look like this. Manufacture, all that good stuff. I got videos on the channel, by the way, explaining all this stuff, but it was a little convoluted after a while because it wasn't working how it was supposed to work. Now it seems as if it's working. So once you set this up, boom, you want to set up network MIDI, Akai Network Midi, not the DAW control. I'm not sure what the DAW control actually does as yet. I'll figure that out as time comes, but you want to make sure you're on network MIDI, Akai Network Midi, on both receive from and send to. You can check all, but this is the key thing. You want to make sure your send MIDI time code is checked off. That's the only box, right? And then you want to set up the instrument. I mean, for what we're doing, we don't need the instrument, right? But it'll be the same thing. You set up the network MIDI, receive from, send to, and you're good. And once you do that, you hit monitor, press play. That's coming from the MPC. So I just press Playstart on the MPC. When I hit the Spacebar on my computer, it's a little laggy. It's a little lag, but you still get it. I need to go back in there and fix the settings correctly. But I'm just super stoked that this is actually working, and I don't have a MIDI DIN, right? I don't have the 5-pin MIDI. I don't have that plugged in. I'm curious to know if that's actually working now though, because that was one of the issues. But now I don't need that because I'm doing it wirelessly, which is crazy, right? So you would have your interface, right? Your sound card, your mixer, whatever, with, what is it? 2, 4, 6? Yeah, 6. So the MPC Live has 6 ins and outs. Really 4, but the master, you count that as well. And if you have a bigger interface, you can then plug all 6 channels in and, you know, send them in as separated tracks, which is what I was wanting to do for the last 2 years and was struggling. I'm just happy that Akai came through with this one. So they got a thumbs up for me with this update. As far as the controller goes, let me check to see if I can control anything. I'm super stoked, and I'm I'm stuck on stupid right now. Like, I don't know, personas. All right, let's see if I can set this up. So, MPC standalone, and it doesn't seem as if it's working. It's going out, but it's not going in. Alright, I don't think I could control it. I know you can, but I don't remember how to do it, and I don't want to get all stuck on this. My main concern is that if I press spacebar, it's super late though, and I'm pressing stop, but it's not stopping. I didn't show y'all how to record it in, right? So you press record. Press record down here. Turn off the sync in your MPC, because if not, it's gonna double. I mean, you can take the monitor off. You can let it run twice. The second one sounds better to me for some reason, so that's the other thing too. So the BPM wasn't the same. So now let's try that again. I mean, there's a little click, but the click isn't that bad. I mean, there's a little click. There's a little delay. It should still be set up though. Man, I don't remember where this thing is at, but that is pretty much it. As far as the live control, that's there. I'm gonna get more in depth into all the new features in the coming weeks, in the coming videos, but I'm pretty much just happy with I'm able to do this right here. I could get so much more work done this way, opposed to struggling with the 5-pin MIDI that wasn't working. And the main concern is just that when you press play, it drags the MPC, because when you have crazy hi-hat patterns, crazy drum patterns, if it's not dragging it from the beginning, from bar 1 to bar 100, if it don't drag from this point to this point, it's pointless. Because you're then gonna have to go in, you're gonna have to, like what I was doing before, you're gonna have to edit, you're gonna drag this forward, and that messes up the loop, right? It messes it up. So that is pretty much it. Thank you guys so much for joining in today. This video is powered by Cookies. That is my 8-year-old daughter, whom I cherish. She's so lovely. She's, working hard trying to, get her cookies goals accomplished. So anything that you can do by hitting that link in the description, and it might be in the comments, posted in the comment timestamps as well. Please support. Make an 8-year-old happy. I appreciate you. Make a happy father. Right? I do appreciate you, man. More videos to come. We anticipating this MPC One. Let's see what it's going to hit for. I'm just happy that this MPC 2.7 software is now in better graces. There's still some hiccups inside of the actual MPC software on the desktop, but on the firmware itself, I never really had issues in standalone mode. There's people that I see that have complaints about certain things in standalone. I've never had those, so I can't go in for you on that, but because I haven't witnessed it, right? But outside of that, the software has little bugs still there. But keep hitting that feedback button on the bottom of your MPC software. You can't do it from the MPC Live or MPC X. You just generally have to email Akai, and the quickest way to do it is that support button, that smiley face on the bottom of the MPC software. That's pretty much it, man. Do remember that music is life. It is our DNA. Keep banging. Peace, love, and light. Till next time, Akai, y'all got a thumbs up for this one. All right? Love and light. Peace.